Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week we've got a fantastic little Ukrainian PCP from Pelpax on test and a roundup from the game fair. But before that, we're heading out hunting with Andy Watkins and he's setting his sights on magpies and rabbits.
Well, I've had a call from the landowner here and she's told me that they've got a few rabbits and they'd like me to shoot some if at all possible. So where we are at the minute, this is the farm sort of area, but where the rabbits are causing the most problem is on her garden. They're digging up her garden and just generally making a real nuisance. There's a lot of plants and shrubs that they're also chewing up, which is very frustrating when you're putting a lot of time and energy into keeping your garden well maintained. As well as that, the pheasants are coming here next week and there's a large magpie population. So if we do manage to shoot a couple of rabbits, what I would like to do is set them out and hopefully decoy some magpies in. I've got my plastic decoy in the car, so that would be the ideal scenario, but it doesn't always work out like that. We might have a completely different day. The gun of choice for this mission is the Walther Rotex RM8, bolt action, 8-shot magazine, ideal for if on the odd occasion I fluff a shot, it's just there, I can reload the bolt and put another one and just for a quick dispatch. On top we've got a PAO scope, 4-16 by 56. This is the SWAT version. You've got the tactical target style turrets on there, illuminated reticle. This is a mil-dot scope and value for money wise it's ideal. 30mm tube, so it lets plenty of light in. That big objective lens on the front, if you're doing any dusk shooting, which we may be today, I'm not too sure, there'll be no trouble seeing anything. That's held on with the usual sports match mounts. Again, just hold everything rock solid in place, and my personal favourite. I'm not going to be using a face veil today. The only reason being is I forgot it and I left it at home in my other gun bag. But the rabbit should be alright here because there is quite often people walking around and they're quite used to the sight of people, so should be alright. But now I'm going to load up the rifle and get to it.
Andy may have forgotten his head net, but it looks like he's attempting to keep his face concealed from sight by growing a beard.
Well, I know around this corner there's often rabbits, so I'm just going to quietly stalk my way around and hope for the best.
Rabbits won't hang around if they spot you against the skyline, so Andy keeps low while trying to close in for a shot.
There wasn't any rabbits there on this occasion, but I know rabbits are always sort of out in this area, so I'm just going to lay low here for a little bit. I've lazed everything. I used to know all the ranges on this particular bit of ground, but it's been a while since I've been here, so I've just refreshed my memory. I now I've got a good picture in my mind of all the aim points that I need for the different little objects that I've pinpointed. And this is always a good thing to do because it saves time if a rabbit does pop out. So there's a bough of a hedge coming out there. I know that's 16 yards. There's then an apple further down, that's 23 yards. Further down again, there's like another strange coloured leaf on the ground. I know that's 45 yards. And that's where I'll draw the line today because it's a little bit breezy. So if anything pops out in there, I've got a rough idea of where I'm going to aim. So I'm just going to wait here now, see if anything happens.
Watching and waiting can be a very effective way to earn shots when hunting with an airgun, and Andy is eventually rewarded with an opportunity.
A rabbit's just come out at 31 yards. That was a good shot there. The rabbit, almost obscured by the hedge, but just about in view. Sat up nice and square. Just put the crosshairs slightly above the rabbit's head and rolled it over. It's just dead on the ground there now. So really pleased with that one. Quite a young one, but a real solid headshot there. Precision accuracy from that gun. Wasn't a particularly far shot, but stalking in close is a really essential part of fieldcraft, and just sitting and waiting often proves to be the best way. We did wait for a little bit longer after this shot, but nothing came out, so I think the best thing to do would be to have another little walk around, keeping to the perimeters and seeing if we come across anything else. But we've got this rabbit in the bag now, so I'm going to pop this to one side, and once we've had another walk round, I'm going to set it up as a decoy and put the magpie over the top of it, and hopefully we'll thin out some of the magpie numbers here.
Andy moves as stealthily as he can as he makes his way around the permission. His subtle approach pays off, and he's soon settling down in readiness to add another rabbit to his tally.
Another rabbit there, a little bit further out, 35 yards, so still well within the range of this capable little rifle. And he's just again gone straight over. He was just grazing, and he held still for just a fraction of a second, and I made the most of it and took the shot, and he just dropped down there now. There was a few more rabbits up the other end of the field, but I think they've gone now just from the sound of that rabbit being hit. And if you're wondering why the blue shoes, I've been using my boots recently and it's just been so hot, so I've just been chucking the trainers on, and I found that they're a lot quieter to stalk in. So when walking on this gravel and through dry leaves, it's just a lot quieter, having that foam sole. It's just a shame they're bright blue. Another fairly young one, but again perfect shot placement, right behind the eye there. You can see it's still twitching, but the rabbit's completely dead. That's just from the brain cells just sending nerves to the feet. But good rabbit, nice and again humanely dispatched, and this rifle's really proving to be quite a little workhorse today. So we've got two dead rabbits now to set out as decoys. We're going to get the hide nets out of the car now, and I've got a fair idea of where we're going to set up through previous experience. There's a tree over there, a dead tree. I've sometimes seen magpies sitting in there once I've been driving the car to go and park, so I'm thinking I'm just going to create a simple blind, going to open this gate, hook the hide nets over and just sit the decoy down there with a couple of the dead rabbits. And then it's just a waiting game and we'll see what happens. And then we've got a simple blind, just enough clearance in there for me to look through and get a shot through. James, the cameraman, aka my brother, will have to come around the outside and hopefully just film like that. So him still being concealed, but he'll still be able to see through the screen. That should work. And position down already, there's magpies flying over. I can hear him chattering in the woodland behind. So it shouldn't be too long before we get some action, all being well. Well, that's one magpie on the ground. I'm going to sit tight, I'm not going to pick it because quite often with corvids, if one goes down they'll go into a bit of a frenzy. Looks like another one's come in. So we've just reviewed the footage and it turns out James was actually filming the wrong one on one of the shots that I took, so looks like we only shot 4, but I'm dead certain there's 5 magpies down below that tree. Not sure where that one was hit. Doesn't seem to be much sign of where it was shot, but that'll be a good job for the woodland, and I'm really pleased we managed to get those on the ground. So that's 4 magpies and 2 rabbits so far. Again, we'll have another little walk round, see if we can come across anything else, but if we don't, I'm really happy with the way the day's gone so far. Well, this is something that I did on my channel and it went down really well, and some people had never heard of it. It's called the pop gutting method. Just allows you to gut a rabbit if you don't have a knife. So I just grab the rabbit up there, right underneath what would be its armpits, and just squeeze all the guts down into the bottom, and then put it over my knee and squeeze. It then ruptures through the stomach lining, and then I get the back legs and push. There's a wasp there, and then everything just comes out the back nice and cleanly. Just pull it all out and throw it in the undergrowth, and that just stops any big cuts underneath the in the skin. So if it's a hot summer's day, the flies aren't going to get in it quite so much. We were just sort of packing up and heading home, and I thought I'd just have another walk around this little bit here, and there's another rabbit. I've lased it, it's at 40 yards. I'm just gonna hopefully knock him down. It's quite a young one, this one. That's good. Again, it's just kicking a little bit because of nerves. Always happens with headshots, that's just unavoidable. Brilliant. I think we're going to pack it up now. Don't think anything else is going to come out. We'll finish on that. That's a young kit. Not my favourite things to shoot, but when you're on a pest control job like this, where the landowner's wanting as many rabbits as possible shot, you can't only be picky just because it's young. It's just going to grow up and do exactly the same amount of damage. We've had a really good night. 4 magpies retrieved and 3 rabbits. So yeah, we'll call it a day.
Andy Watkins filling the game bag with the RM8 there. And now it's the Airgun Show news with a special roundup from the game fair at Ragley Hall.
This is the Airgun Show news, reporting from this year's game fair at Ragley Hall. The weather had everything from searing heat to strong winds and heavy downpours, but that didn't discourage thousands of shooters from attending. One of the highlights was the Air Arms experience, where newcomers could shoot under the guidance of experts from British Shooting. Coaches from the organisation's Target Sprint GB Athletics squad have even helped the gunmaker to develop a new airgun especially for the sport. The TS400 target rifle features a slick new cocking system which enables shooters to quickly reload the single shot gun without taking their eye off the target, and should result in significant time savings when competing in target sprint.
We've seen an average of 10 seconds improvement on the times from shooters over the older style rifles with the bolts, and that is a big advantage when you're on a run for 400 metres. It puts you further down the track and gives you a significant advantage over your competitors.
Visitors to the Weihrauch stand got to check out the new HW110 carbine. The stubby version of the proven PCP is just 88 cm long and tips the scales at 3.1 kilograms. Produced to meet demand for a super compact model, it boasts all the same features as the 110, including lightweight polymer action, Weihrauch silencer, and new black finished safety catch and magazine release. There's also a Picatinny accessory rail on the underside of the forend.
It's got itself a shorter barrel and shorter cylinder on it. It makes it a lot more lighter, a lot more compact. You'll get the same number of shots in it as you would do with a standard HW100 carbine, around about 50 to 55 at 177 to about 17.22.
The Super Tactical Commander attracted a lot of visitors to the Brocock stand. Equipped with a humour regulator with twin air gauges for optimum efficiency and consistency, the tactically styled multi-shot PCP features side bolt cocking, a silky smooth 10-shot magazine and Lothar-Walther barrel. Weighing a shade over 3 kilograms, the Commander features an extending butt section to ensure correct fit. Power options range from sub 12 foot-pounds to 46 foot-pounds.
This one's done in a Cerakote finish. It's also available in black. The latest Brocock Bantam Mark II comes with a humour regulator, and that's a Dutch company that makes a fantastic regulator. It's super reliable and gives this little rifle a shot count in 2.2, 12 foot-pounds, 520 shots.
Night shooters were flocking to get a look at the new Wicked hunting light kit on the Scott Country stand. The range includes 3 different models, with options including red, green and white light, infrared and red light, and a long-range infrared version. All models feature variable power and a beam that can be focused from a long-range spot to a wide flood. The kit includes batteries and charger, a stock-mounted remote switch, a halo shield and quick-release angle-adjustable mount.
The one we have on this rifle is the one that does the red, the green and the white lights. Just by turning this dial at the top, you can switch between the 3 different colours. Now you can go from spot to flood by turning it here. Also, it can come with a tail switch we can fix on the side of your rifle. On here you can dim it, so you can go from really bright and you can dim it right down.
The next major event on the Country Show calendar is the Midland Game Fair in September. It's a big one for Airgun shooters and we'll be there to bring you the highlights. That was the Airgun Show news.
Decent PCP airguns are getting more and more affordable, and this week's review gun is a brilliant example of that. It's the Zbroia Hortitsia from Pelpax. Made in the Ukraine, it's a fantastic little multi-shot PCP with a price tag of just £499.99. I've already used it a few times on hunting trips, one of which we've already featured on the show, but this week I thought I'd take the time just to show you a little bit more of what it has to offer. This is the shorter 330-180 version, which measures a very modest 89 centimetres from muzzle to butt. It's also pretty light, tipping the scales at around 3 kilos unscoped. Being so light and compact, it's also a very pointable airgun and is very comfortable to shoot. The stock looks really elegant, and I'd describe it as a modern take on the classic sporter style. This one is a dedicated right-hander. It's made from hardwood with a grey stain finish. I must say that I wasn't initially too impressed with that grey stain, but it really is starting to grow on me. And if it isn't to your taste, a plain brown option is also available. The fore end of the stock is very long, so there's plenty of room for your leading hand, whatever stance or hold you choose to use. There's no checkering or stippling on the fore end or the pistol grip, but I don't think it really compromises grip a great deal because you can still feel plenty of the natural graining of the wood. I really like the pistol grip, which has a distinct sweep and a bulge that really swells into the palm. There's a deep scallop behind it to cradle your hand, and it makes for a really good trigger attack whether you choose to shoot thumb up or thumb round. Apart from being very comfortable, the rollover cheek piece also looks neat and sets you up just about perfectly for the scope. The stock is finished with a rubber butt pad that's set off with a neat red spacer. It's quite a basic hard rubber pad, but it really grips into the shoulder. I must admit that I wasn't expecting the highest standard of finish in an affordable PCP that's made in the Ukraine, but I couldn't have been more wrong. This airgun is very well engineered and very solidly constructed. The blacking on the metalwork is extremely even and has a semi-matte finish to cut down on glare. The Hortitsia is equipped with a Picatinny type scope rail. That initially sounds like a bit of a nuisance because most UK airgun shooters will be accustomed to dovetail rails. However, once you've got the right mounts, it provides a very secure attachment that isn't moving anywhere. This carbine model has a 33cm barrel and it's fully shrouded. The barrel shroud gives a nice chunky look to the gun, and although it doesn't facilitate the addition of an external sound moderator, it still does a very good job of muting down the sound of the muzzle report. The fairly long air cylinder has a maximum working pressure of no less than 300 bar. Although it's tested to 495 bar, that still sounds pretty high to me, so I settled for a more modest 220 bar fill. And from that, I still managed to get around 80 consistent shots at about 11.3 foot-pounds. There's a pressure gauge at the front of the cylinder. I don't like having to look down the barrel to check air pressure, but this setup seems pretty standard these days. When it is time to refill, it's simply a matter of slackening off the collar at the front of the cylinder to expose the inlet and then plugging in the supplied quick fill probe. There are actually two supplied, a screw-in one and one with a Foster attachment. The Hortitsia's cocking and loading system is a very nice straight pull mechanism. Push off the locking catch with your thumb and the bolt pulls straight back to cock the gun and index the magazine. Push it forwards and it probes the pellet home into the breech ready for the shot. Having to push off the locking catch sounds like a bit of a faff, but it quickly becomes subconscious and it is a very, very fast mechanism. That system drives a 12-shot magazine in 177 and a 10-shot in 2.2. Pull the bolt all the way back and the magazine pulls out from the right-hand side. It's quite a simple design, quite similar to the Weihrauch, but it works well and it's easy to load, and you get a spare one supplied with the gun. The trigger is very, very good. I really like the sweep and profile of the blade, which drives an adjustable 2-stage unit. This one was fantastic straight from the box, with a fairly short first stage and a crisp, predictable second stage break. The safety catch is located just in front of the trigger blade. I don't think that's great from a safety point of view, but it is very convenient to operate. You pull it back with your finger to make the gun safe and then push it forwards when you're ready to take the shot. It's very positive and extremely quiet in operation. I think that's all of the main features covered. Let's crack on with the important part and I'll show you what it shoots like. Well, I really can't complain about that. We've got a very slight left to right breeze today, but the 177 caliber test gun, it's just turned out a 5-shot group, 30 meters. It's got to be within half an inch. That's with that breeze, and I know from experience that in calm conditions this gun is pretty much doing pellet on pellet at 30 metres and half-inch groups at 40 metres. It is a joy to shoot, and it's also a nice accurate little gun, and that very sweet trigger certainly plays a significant part in that. This little air gun really has more than exceeded my expectations. It's light, compact, elegant and functional. The cocking and loading mechanism is brilliant, and so is the trigger. The Zbroia Hortitsia really is a fantastic little air gun for under £500. And don't forget, Pelpax can even deliver air guns direct to your door.
Look out for the new and improved Airgun Shooter magazine, packed full of technique, gear and insight from some of the best shooters in the industry. Brand new look and free video content. Pick up your copy today in stores or online.
That's all for this week, but we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.